Hello, hello! Name's Anon, welcome back to the channel, thank you very much for tuning in. Today's the day. We finally made it. Today's the day I have officially run out of Wizard Legend build ideas. Regular builds, that being. Now you might argue that I still haven't played all of the Boss Rush builds in the Chaos Trials, but here I am to tell you that most of them were made specifically with the idea in mind to be only catering towards a Boss Rush audience, people who actually want to play Boss Rush. And I wanted to have not the regular, plainly overpowered, super strong in any given situation Boss Rush builds, so I decided to make a bunch of creative ones. Yes, a lot of them are quite complex, and they would absolutely warrant some sort of explanation video part dedicated towards them, but I don't intend to play any of them any more than I already have in the Chaos Trials as well, as they are simply not made for that, and it wouldn't be as fun to me. Some of these are just supposed to be very reckless and played very quickly and, you know, just in a boss rush sort of way. So, instead, what I'm going to be doing today is I'm going to be starting to assemble noobles, starting today. This might take a month, maybe two, but I still have plenty of ideas I might be able to come up with. There are still plenty of things to do in this game besides making regular builds, those being a robe, 4 abilities, and then lastly consisting, usually, of 1 starter relic. Now there are combinations with these, but for the most part it's always 1 robe, 4 abilities, and 1 starter relic, however relevant any of those might be to your build. Today, what we're going to be doing is the first sort of special build, the first sort of legal special build, let's put it that way, the intended special build, where we are going to be using 2 starter relics instead, one of which is going to stem from the cursed item pool, but the extra cursed item pool that exists in this game, which I haven't resorted to using just yet. This build has stuck with me ever since I opened this channel, pretty much. And I have played it a couple of times, so I am sort of familiar with it, not too much, so the video is not going to become boring or anything. But this is definitely one of the many kinds of builds that I'd like to assemble, and this was my prototype and still is, to this day, the only special kind of build I have assembled, so look forward to those. Let's get right into today's video though. Today's build is gonna be called Explosive Diarrhea. It's all about explosions and bullshit. It's a pure fire build, and it is intended to work entirely around our 2 starting relics and the fact that we are just using a bunch of explosive fiery abilities. So let's get right into it. For our robe, of course, we're going to be using the Fury robe, the Furious Fire robe, which increases our signature charge gain by 20% and our signature charge damage by 25%. That's going to come in quite handy because our signature is very powerful damage-wise and signature ability-wise. Great robe, color-wise, fits like a treat, theme-wise, it's perfect, so yeah, it's obviously the perfect choice. For our first starting relic, we're going to be going for the offensive Whimsical Explodium, one of my favorite items in the game, even though it's technically Special Snowflake does the same thing but is superior in my opinion, because Freeze is just much cooler and it allows for you to do certain things that Whimsical doesn't. So what does this do, you might ask? It's a chance, very high chance, a 50% chance, that's a 1 in 2, that enemies will explode when defeated. For a lot of extra damage in a rather large area around them, you can just, you know, you can proc chain reaction every now and then. And by every now and then, I mean pretty much every single room where more than like 5 enemies spawn, at least one of them is gonna proc this statistically. Usually 2 or more. And then they just, you know, they explode into one another, killing each other off with the explosions. You usually have to kill one, and then they end up killing the rest, as long as they are significantly down in HP. So let's say you hit them briefly, this will make the entire room just go boom, up your face. Fantastic. Love it. Very, very fun. Let's get into the abilities before we move on to our second starter relic, shall we? Just stick with the regular order. I might adjust this in the near future. I don't know whether this is still the right format, the right way, the right sequencing of presenting a build. So I'll try and stick with it, see whether this works or not. We'll see. We are fully in the experimental realm here, so to speak. So for our basic, we're going to be using Flame Strike, the only really explosive basic in this game. It's a charged ability. It's a piercing melee ability with a rather cleaving sort of style. It has a rather long range for a melee ability, and it deals a shit ton of damage. But most importantly, it makes boom boom in the faces of our opponents. Looks like so. As with most charged abilities or charge-based abilities in this game, it has 3 hits to it. So 1, 2, and then the charge, which you can hold all the way or abort at any time. You can redirect it, as with most of these abilities, if you are fast enough. And then the final ability also has some special properties. For example, as with most abilities, it deals a lot more damage at 32. That is a huge hit, and just look at that range. My god, the coverage is fantastic. It pierces, it generates plenty of signature, it has fantastic damage, it goes insane with a ham sandwich, and then when enhanced, the final blast will also burn and destroy projectiles. Which I know, it looks vicious already, but it doesn't do that already for whatever reason. It looks like it absolutely would destroy, just eviscerate any projectile. Make it, you know, grind to dust in mid-air while flying towards you. But no, it doesn't. But the enhanced version will do. So we really want to upgrade this as early as possible. It's a great damage up, it's a great utility up, it's just overall very strong ability. We love using this for the entirety of Dungeon 1 and 2, maybe even 3 with this build. It's very powerful. Even into bosses, you can enhance the damage to, you know, shoot your enemies for up to 100 plus. It's quite ridiculous. I really like it a lot. For our dash, we're going to be using Magma Rush, my default dash, so to speak, when I don't know what better dash to run. It's just a decent dash in any given build. So you dash forth, and it leaves behind this residual field, an AoE marked on the ground, and as soon as enemies stab into this kind of fireball, hovering, levitating in mid-air, is going to start to chase them down. It has a set duration to it, and when it expires, it explodes. Also on contact with the enemy it's trying to chase down, it explodes immediately, dealing a moderate amount of damage, also burning enemies in this AoE around it. So it's just decent. You dash around the place, you don't have anything better to do with your dash. You leave behind these things. Occasionally they deal good damage, sometimes just to a single target, other times they hit an entire group, dealing pretty good damage, burning enemies, kind of stun locking them, interrupting them from hitting you. So it's just decent. That's it. It starts out on 1 charge, can be enhanced using extra charge granters, I guess. I think there's only 1 item in the game that does that. I always feel like mentioning that, but it's really not too important. Yes, you might give these extra charges, but ultimately it's not super helpful. Now when enhanced, again, the upgrade isn't super powerful. Just like the base version, it lasts a lot longer, which you might not necessarily want. You might want this to expire, then explode that way, and has an increased blast radius, so that also means it has an increased radius of being procced, so it is much easier to make this go off. Again, you might not want that, depends on the situation, but we really don't care. We just want things to go ba-boom. For our stamina, we're going to be running Explosive Charge, and I kind of pretty much never used before. I really don't like it. It's so goofy to use. It's a 3-charge, very short-range dash that leaves these little, well, I'm just going to straight up call it a bomb. It's a bomb on the enemies that we dash through, which will detonate after a short period of time, knocking them away into the opposite direction that you dashed through them, if that makes any sense. It works like so. Oh well. I guess it knocks them into the direction that you dashed into. You can do some funky stuff with this, like dashing back and forth to sort of keep them in place. It's just so goofy. It generates a lot of signature though, it deals good damage, it explodes a lot on a lot of different enemies. It's very weak as it has a very tiny range. You have to get very close, up and person, and risk being hit all the time to use it. It doesn't have a range even remotely considerable to be long enough to be considered a dodging ability. Even when you triple dash, it's just so sluggish. You can't exactly expect to dodge like a Zeal Fireball coming at your face at full force, at full speed with even 3 charges, because you might not even have time to cast your second in time. It's just kind of an ability. That's why I don't use it a lot. However, it pierces enemies, technically, so you can apply this to as many enemies as you want, as long as they don't interrupt you mid-dash. You know, they might be stuck, or they might be in the middle of a hit animation, swinging in for the hit, right up your face, and then cancel you mid-dash. I'm not sure that that can happen. I'm not sure you're immune to that with this ability. I bet you're not. I bet that can happen, and I bet it happens quite a lot. So I would much rather not use it, but we're going to be doing it for the theme here. Now, when enhanced, the explosions also burn enemies. Really don't care about that. It's just a very minor damage increase. Also, it's not really worth it. It's not worth 100 gold, because think of it. First dash through these 4 enemies in this situation, deals damage, burns them. Then the second explosion would also burn them, but burn has like a duration to it, a moderately long duration to it. Granted, it is comparatively rather short to something like poison, for example, but still, you can't exactly get all of the value in the world out of this. If you just triple dash through an enemy, you're gonna lose out on a bunch of DPS from the burn status effect. Not a worthwhile upgrade by any means, in my opinion. It also really only does the same thing as your dash and your basic upgrades, and those are much more powerful. They also have other aspects to them rather than just burns enemies for 100 gold. Yoink! So, we're not gonna be looking to upgrade that at all. In fact, let's just ignore it and move on to a much more glorious ability here. Our signature, Raging Inferno. Now, I haven't mentioned it yet, but few of these sound like they are poop related. Explosive Charge, Raging Inferno. I'm not sure. Flame Strike, the Fury Robe, Whimsical Explodium. It sounds like a mix between something cool and Diarrhea. That's kind of where the name stems from, but it's also due to our second starter, I guess you'll see in a second, which is just another great reference to farting and shitting yourself, sharding by accident, if you will. So Raging Inferno is no different. It has just another technically ambivalent name that can be interpreted in a plethora of immature ways. This is a charge-based ability. Charge-based ability. I always mispronounce that for whatever reason. It's a very high damage ability. You can charge it like so. Looks nice. You can hold it for as long as you want. Doesn't that just look fucking gorgeous? And then release it at any time, wherever you want. Look at that. It will pull in all enemies hit and then push them away in great fashion. Has a huge knockback, large damage, great wind up. The signature has the advantage of charging twice as fast as the regular version, and overall I just really love it. The signature does that whole thing, but in so much huger and much more admirable. Yeah, I love to see it. I just love to cast it. It's a great ability. It has fantastic range too. It's rather versatile. You can quickly chug it to just, you know, stun like a small group of enemies like so. Just draw them in instead of pulling them away to climb them up for your dash. So it has combo potential too. But mostly you got to use this to just eradicate everything in a room. You want them to split up in a way that allows for you to hit this into the center of a group of enemies. So it pulls all of them in, just deals maximum amount of damage, pushes them out of one another, and then you can just finish them off with a well-placed Flame Strike or even just a Magma Rush. It's fantastic. I absolutely love this ability. I've been using it forever and ever, and we really want to charge our signature a lot to be able to cast this huge fireball of pure destruction. Yeah, with that out of the way, let's move on to the spicy part of this video, shall we? The second starter relic. Now this might take a while, granted. If you know this game, you might know that over here in this corner, at some point you unlock Nox to sell you a certain selection of extra cursed relics that you cannot come across over the course of a run. You can only pick one of these at a given time, and they vanish as soon as you reset. So let's say you exit, you enter back into the game, they're gone. You have to buy them preemptively to run. You have to be self-determined in that you want to play with one of these. These usually mean a huge disadvantage to you and a huge boost to enemies. For example, there's one that makes everything, I mean everything in the game, deals 99 damage. So you die in round about 5 hits. But also you can one-shot anything, and you can just fulfill all your glass cannon dreams. There are certain other very fun abilities. There are certain sort of relics that I would consider absolute self-torture, or just run enhancements, plain and simple, like this one. Pits no longer appear in rooms and hallways. That means you can't push enemies into pits anymore, abusing those pits, but also, if you're very new to the game, this might be a viable pickup. It helps you not fall into pits by accident, but also, it kind of makes you not want to learn how to mitigate that stupidity and not fall into pits in the first place. Regardless, that's beside the point. We are going to try and get a certain one here, and in order to achieve that, as you can tell, we only have a selection of 4 relics right here. So we're gonna have to reset a bunch of times until the one that we want is going to appear. I absolutely hate that design decision. No clue whose idea that was, but it's a painful idea. It's a painful mess. You have to reset on and on and on. I refuse moving on until I get my item. Okay, there we go. The Fatal Firecrackers. I fucking love that name. Just sounds like deadly diarrhea, honestly. Just sounds like you're hanging out with a bunch of friends and you like have to really fight, but it comes out as a shot and everyone's just looking at you like, what the fuck, mate? You're essentially being crucified by your social circle. Anyway, we want this. What does it do? It costs 25 gems, and defeating enemies causes them to explode and damage nearby enemies. So, very similar effect on the surface here to our Whimsical Explodium, except it has a 100% chance, seemingly. Players take additional damage from enemy attacks, 25% extra damage taken from all attacks. That might sound like a nightmare. It kind of is a nightmare. It's a cursed item. You can't get rid of it. You can't sell it. You can't drop it accidentally at any point, unlike the Whimsical. But it's just a second Whimsical, making things explode extra often, extra hard. I love it. It's a very stupid combo. I'm not sure that this can be called a synergy. It's not really. In my book, it's just 2 explosions, 2 enemies dying. But I'm down for the idea, man. Just plenty of explosions, having a good time, and that's it. So, yeah, with that out of the way, let's move on to the build specifics, the intended build playstyle. We want to be rather defensive, let enemies group up, then just fire off 1 abilities and watch the world crash and burn. The entire fucking dungeon is just gonna come down. All of the ceilings, all of the walls, we're gonna bring it all down. Just yoink it all. Explode it all. We want to drop them nukes on everyone. And then we want to try not dying into bosses. With these runs, I'm not gonna be setting myself the goal of actually trying to beat a run and trying to play a build to the best of my ability. It's just about assembling something thematically well put together and having a great time here, having a great laugh. I feel like this will be fantastic. So, moving on to what I would perceive are potential problems. Well, taking 25% extra damage escalates very quickly when meeting enemies like Shu, even though we have all fire damage, so we are very strong into Shu. When you get caught up in the Shu ultimate, this can mean instant death. When you combine this with items that make you take more damage, fuck, I can't do math. I can't do words right now. I was gonna say, linearly, is that the correct terminology? I'm not sure. When you come across relics that are very strong, like Double Throw, for example, but make you take a double damage. That means you take 50% extra damage just off of this one relic alone, plus then any extra, damage increases to your character, or any other discomforts you might experience, like items literally weighing you down. A simple example would be a piggy bank that makes you a lot slower, more sluggish, much slower to dodge attacks, much more vulnerable in the face of grave danger and very fast-hitting enemies like thieves, or just bosses and mini-bosses. So combined with a bunch of other very good items, or items that would otherwise be very, very strong, like a Double Trouble, which is fantastic in your average run, especially with a Fury Robe and an already very high damage build like this one, can mean that you just become the ultimate glass cannon. You die in a hit. Maybe 2, maybe 3. Maybe you just get stun-locked in your average boss's attack and die immediately, and there's nothing you can do about it. That's why they call it a stun-lock. So, huge risk, very tiny reward. It just helps you with rooms, and I imagine it's gonna look spectacular, just making things explode everywhere. It's not a very flashy animation, that would be quite distracting, but it's one that an experienced Wizard Legend player like me is definitely gonna notice, and it's definitely gonna feel very nice, and that's what it's all about after all. So moving on to the final part, he recommended items in Arcana. I don't really have anything to say here, just go for whatever. We already have really high damage, we have great Kraken Shell. We need a little more boss kill abilities, maybe a little more sustainability to stay alive. Maybe sustainability isn't the right word here, maybe it's just defensive capabilities, such as item enhancements with the typical jumps, extra ranged abilities, so we can just kill everything from afar without any face of danger at any given point, which is also a little boring, because if enemies just die off screen and they keep exploding in their fascinating chains of Whimsical Explodium and Fatal Firecrackers procs, we can't exactly see that, so we don't really want to go for that too much here. It's going to make the run a little bit bland. But we're definitely going to be trying to achieve a bit of item enhancement, whether it be by jumps, whether it be by something like an evading Zephyr, so we can just move around and evade everything at 100% chance, or just something as plain as simple as a permafrost bulwark. We just freeze ourselves in place, unable to be harmed by anything for a short period of time. And with that out of the way, I'd say, let's get right into it, shall we? Let's grab our money here. Let's try to dodge... we can dodge either Zeal or Freya. Those make sense because we are all fire, so we are naturally weaker against those enemies. I think I'm going to dodge Zeal here because I don't really fear the Freya. This is a mostly ranged build due to our signature. Every other ability here is not ranged, but every other ability here isn't particularly strong damage-wise, so I don't care much about them. I guess I'd like to get rid of the Freya. Zeal. Okay, Freya. Cool, let's do it. We get to fight Shu as well, that's fantastic. That's gonna be a very easy third dungeon. Again, potentially instant death though. But just as much as he can kill us incredibly fast, we should be able to kill him eventually incredibly quickly as well. Granted, we find extra damage ups. We don't have extra damage ups, we just have a shitload of AoE damage. Okay, wait. Are we actually going to pick up that box escape key right away? I think so, yeah. Okay, let's try and cast this from afar. I don't think I can though. Can't exactly detonate it or anything. Try and abuse the dash, because I don't have to stand still and aim while using that. Grab the box escape key, that's fantastic. So we get at least 1 guaranteed revive, but more likely 2 or more. That's usually what happens when I run this. Oh my god, just getting knocked around by the explosions. Love it. Pull them together, follow that up with the basic. My god, that has a mighty range. Definitely like getting that upgrade right away. It's gonna come in quite handy. Okay, let's see what's next. Okay, these rooms are our absolute favorites. We just have to quickly toss a signature and everything's gonna die. Maybe even tap our charged basic a little bit, right? Like so. Bye-bye. Boom. Explosions everywhere. Love it. This is great. Just, you know, I love it. I absolutely love it. I've said you know a lot today. I don't know what's going on with that. I'm just just kind of happy to play this, to be honest. It's just a lot of fun so far. Not having to worry about some sort of hard to pull off combo for which you need certain items. Feels very nice. Feels rewarding to be able to just doze off and have a good time for once. Low effort build, very fun though. By low effort I don't mean that it was particularly easy to assemble this, it's just very easy to play this. Because it quite literally does the killing for you, for the most part. One thing I didn't mention in the beginning here, because this isn't so much supposed to be a full explanation video, more than just me having a bunch of fun and recording a fun, simple to understand build, is that when you charge Raging Inferno against a wall like this, occasionally it gets stuck in it, especially around corners like this one. It's kind of hard to show off. Yeah, it's definitely a little clunky to show off right now. Let's see if I can manage to do it. No, not really. Right, maybe we'll get to see it. Fiery Paintbrush. This is even more explosive, pun intended, because occasionally, with a 20% chance, we will deal double damage on Arcana use. Incredibly powerful, and as I mentioned, very explosive. Works absolute wonders with a build like this, I would imagine. I do want to pick up as much money as possible, as I just spent pretty much everything I got. Gotta abuse the fact that barrels insta-kill enemies, making them explode just that much more. Beside exploding by themselves as well. Just a minor fact. I kinda wish you could combine multiple of these cursed starter relics, because there's also one that makes explosive barrels spawn everywhere, and that would be an absolute nightmare with this build, but also very, very fun. Just look at that. Holy shit. I will gladly take some damage to see that. Just pop off, boy. Oh, another fun thing you could do, occasionally, if you get a pinata room, just bait a bunch of enemies to walk inside, and then blow them up, because I feel like the explosion would deal hefty damage. Maybe even kill the pinata, straight up. I am considering buying that graduation cap, or hat. Is it a cap or a hat? Not sure. Because it could combine nicely if we ever wind up finding the Nox counterpart. Would make us drop a bunch of extra gems, but most importantly, 2 items instead of single relic drops. Double relic drops? Count me in. That's very fun. Extra uses with the Ring of Reserves here as well. That's also very interesting. I'm gonna wait. You know, the boss chest here might just drop the cursed relic that I'm looking for, in which case Ring of Reserves would be a very foolish buy. And we are not here to make foolish plays. We just want to try to not blow ourselves up. No item. We have enough for both, so we will get both. Alright, moving on. We got everything here. That was a shit ton of money for one floor. Come on, load faster. Seems to be getting stuck a little. Probably because I haven't played a lot lately. I guess a better combo than just repeatedly spamming my standard would be using that into a dash to get away from enemies that are rather quick. So the bombs have a bunch of time to detonate, and then I can also occasionally use my dash for extra damage. I just want just enough damage for enemies to explode, to start going off. Ooh, Shark Mask. Makes our signature ability, Crit guaranteed, which is fantastic, because we can keep this charged for as long as we want, so we can just let it go whenever we want to, aka pretty much guaranteed crits every time we use it. And push you into the pit. That's just a little easier. Just more convenient. Now against faster enemies, you would like to dash through them first, apply the bomb, and then Thunder Drop, because Thunder Drop has a rather short stun duration on enemies, rather weak hold on them, so to speak, so they will attack you just right through, they don't care much. And you would like to use the explosive bomb in order to, well, render them unable to attack you, while also killing them at the same time. Just gotta know what you're doing with a Thunder Drop. It is quite a risky ability to use. It is a jump, so you do have iframes while using it, but it's got a rather short duration of use. And a very huge opening afterwards, leaving you widely open for all sorts of attacks and lovely stun locks. Okay. Not getting the Magma Rush upgrade right away here, in case you were asking yourself about that. Keep in mind that jumpers, much like you, while jumping have iframes, so explosions will not affect them whatsoever, as long as they're not exploding themselves, but even then I would expect them to not be affected much. Oh yeah. Rock those sweet, sweet explosions. Hello, Doctor. Decent timing. Not the right one by any means, because I only get to pick the Magma Rush and she will never take a dash. She will never take a signature, she will never take a dash, and she will never take a basic. It's always a standard. So I can't trade here. I'm just gonna lose my explosive charge. I really don't want to. Alright, combo off as they land, as then they won't be able to dodge anything. Hello. I know you couldn't see the portal, but you can hear it if you paid attention. Meaning that we can access it. Also, we can head back to spawn, and it would be the most recently opened portal. So we could even go there from spawn if we didn't want to come all the way back around. Just be lazy. Extra signature charge. That's very good in my book. Very helpful into bosses. The crit chance is decent, but I have a guaranteed crit pretty much all the time due to the Shark Mask, combined with a very, very high damage signature. That being Raging Inferno, which is just a pixel perfect, straight out of the book, very high damage, high utility, incredibly strong signature. This combined with Fiery Paintbrush alone is insane. Combine that, just slap on a Shark Mask, slap on a Dice of the Nemesis, slap on a Double Trouble, you just one-shot everything. It's ridiculous. And then, thanks to the Family Seal, I'm going to be able to crit a whole lot more with the Shark Mask, in turn dealing about double damage on average, I think. Does a crit deal double damage? Does it just deal like, I don't know, like 30% more? I'm not sure. I don't care. Feels rewarding. I'll take it. I know that it's very high damage. I don't know. I don't know the exact numbers on that. I don't think I have to. That's kind of my mentality with games. But I've played them for a while, and I got a pretty damn good feeling about the game. For the most part, I'm gonna be able to just tell that a combination is good or not. And this is definitely not whack. It is very overpowering. Just ask our enemies. Magma Rush upgrade. Not a very high power upgrade, but it's definitely gonna help. when potentially finding a luxury handbag later, or the item that unenhances my Arcana, gives me just a boatload of extra damage and cooldown reduction. Hello, Freya. I hate your laugh. Just fuck off. 1, 2, 3, 4. Don't care. Cast this into the signature. Oh, nice and simple. Always willing to trade a bit of health just to get things over with a little faster. After all, you start out on 500 HP with most builds, which is plenty. Plenty HP you can shave off a little bit of time wasted on a boss stage, waiting for their attacks to conclude. Oh my god, it's so satisfying to watch. I wish this were a permanent state. At least occasionally. Come on, you cuck. Say bye-bye. Kill the slimes because they die a lot faster than the knights. Like so, and then just let them chain. Just go crazy. Go everywhere. Dude, the range on the Firecrackers is nuts. Hello. Explosive charge upgrade. We're not getting that yet, as we might get to see another Dr. Sung potentially. Or maybe just the Cardist, I believe it's called. Whatever the hell his actual name may be. Can't think of it. Don't really care, to be honest. He's like pretty damn irrelevant. Probably more relevant than the banker. I only ever really care about him when I have an abysmal run with abysmal Arcana, or when I have a gem run that needs to have 7 of the same element. But even then, he's usually not super helpful. Hello, Noxy Nox. Much appreciated. We could raise our crit chance, but also take a lot more damage from attacks hitting us. So instead, I would say we either grab the Stealthy Halidai, as this allows for us to pretty much one-shot enemies, guaranteed, all the time, but then also we take a lot more damage from attacks hitting our face. So, not the greatest of items. It only works against the first hit against a full HP enemy, whether that be a boss or a regular enemy. So it's not particularly powerful unless you can guarantee that the first hit is going to be a signature charged hit, or it's just a generally incredibly high damage ability that deals 50 plus damage in one hit, like a Dragonfall, like an Explosive Fireball. We don't really have that. We have an ability that hits for very high damage, but not per hit. It just has a lot of hits to it that deal like 20 plus damage per hit. It's a lot of damage, but not nearly enough to warrant taking this. In my head, anyway, it's just a lot of extra damage taken coming our way that we can't really deal well with. So instead, let's come back later and grab the Golden Saber. That's just a flat 20% up. Fantastic. Love to see it. Huge damage up. But then all the store prices are massively increased. We don't care much about that. Look at our build. It's pretty much complete. What else do we need? We even have a revive. If we need more, we might come across another Nox. Be able to pick up that sweet, sweet Halo. Come on, just die too. Being extinguished. Oh yeah. Oh hey Lancer, how's it going? Oh hey Lancer, I fucking hate you. Oh my god, the sneaky knockback there allowed him to attack us. Very annoying. I don't want to imagine how much damage he could have taken there with the Halidai in our inventory. This was already bad enough. Let's get the hell out of here. Still need a little more money due to the saber. Now more than ever, I want to be able to at least afford one very good item. I will come across a lot of other shops here, most of which I won't be buying at due to the horrendous prices. In a second here, anyway. But I at least want to be able to buy one last item here over the course of this run. And I'd like that to be particularly powerful, like a limited edition robe, for example. That would absolutely make my day. Alright, how do I get up there? It's such an annoying spot. We also gotta die the Arcana upgrade before we move on here. Oh, wow! Extra gold gain from all sources. That is incredibly powerful. Also, another painting part that is even better than the Arcana upgrade, which is not particularly powerful anyway. Love to see it. No, I'm gonna get the painting part any day. Keeps me alive too. Okay. Give me that sweet, sweet gold Tesla coal so we can sell it off. That's nice. Let's grab the tote bag. Let's grab the thing that I always believe is actually not a saber, but instead looks like a Terraria golden fishing rod. 20% extra damage. Love to see it. And then let's try. Let's proceed to try not to die. Sick rhymes today, I know. Damn! I'm on fire today. My ass is on fire. Ate too much Chipotle, so now we gotta lose a couple pounds. If you catch my drift. Oh, you just gotta love toilet humor. Wow, let's fire that off. Another upgrade. Sweet. Killed an entire room over here. Casually, of course. Oh yeah. Now we only need surefire rockets, so we can fuel the rocket and fly to the moon with the power of dung. Just a bunch of burning shit. So much damage. Oh my god, I can't believe that diagonal dash that worked. That felt like a very tight jump and run kind of jump. Oh, come on. I even tried to make it come to me, but I failed. Try again. Thanks for the healing, mate. Alright, let's do it. The more enemies, the more living bombs, essentially, there's gonna be on the battlefield. But also, Thief is very bad for me. Because he really hurts. Really hurts my feelings. Sweet money. Come on. Is that all you got? Just moving aside there in case the rogue teleports from off screen, I wouldn't be able to tell. What? What's going on here with the map region? Map generation. I tend to mix up the words generation and regeneration a lot. I like both. That's probably why. I like to use different words to express the same things. Not to sound smart, I just like to do it. Besides the fact I know that I'm not smart, so... Not that it matters anyway. Die! Oh my god, it's so satisfying. Alright, Evening Gloves, pretty darn good early on, but at this point I don't care much. My build is pretty much complete. I could grab the Copper Pipe for an extra chance to shock on all of my attacks. That would be quite neat. Barrel! Barrel time! Almost fumbled that. Definitely fumbled that. Just gonna shoot through them the Raging Inferno, as I believe it can destroy one projectile, maybe even multiple, not sure. What do we sail here? Oh, actually Tesla Coil does what I just claimed the other thing would do, but no, it doesn't actually do that. Tesla Coil does what we wanted to do. It adds a chance to sharp foes, but it's not super powerful, so get lost, boy. Give me some money. Haven't healed yet. I probably should, as just one slip up might cause immediate death. Don't lose into rogues. Don't do it. Don't walk into tight, obvious trap rooms. Might get you killed. Is there nothing over here? Come on, you guys. Show some effort, please. Yo, you have a guest. Right, nothing here really. The evasion isn't super helpful, I guess. Because we are either one shot for like 200 damage in a hit, or just we don't take any damage at all. So I don't think evasion is gonna cut it. I'm definitely getting that explosive charge now because there is nothing better to do with my money here. Graduation cap, sure. I don't need double relic drops at this point. Just a little more money will get the job done. I will keep the glove, as that guarantees at least being able to buy something around the cereal shop. Not buying a healing potion here. I don't think Thunder Twins are super high damage anyway, even when they do connect to you quite a lot. Just gotta take care of their minions, because that's really obnoxious to deal with this build. I kinda wanna basic them, but I know usually I'm gonna be too far away. Raging can be hard to hit against that. We got a signature off. That's already pretty good. No! I wanted to take the damage there in order to get off one Raging Inferno. Alright. Just abuse all the burns that I can get a hold of. Reboning Icicles. I do like that a lot. I don't think it works super well with the build, but I can combo that. It's a very, very nice Arcana for melee combo specifically, so I can combo that easily with an explosive charge. I can do something like this. Also, extra charge on that. Sweet. Extra range on that, because it's enhanced. Sweet. Love to see it. Just do this. Drag in a bunch of enemies, yet it has a very, very narrow AoE. It's just a tiny ass line. But if you actually do connect that to multiple enemies, you will draw them back into you and then just dash through them, keep spamming the icicles, or just do that into a Magma Rush. Who cares, right? Magma Rush, and then shoot at them from afar and they explode. It's just a very nice combo with this build. Nothing overwhelming. It's a little overwhelming to the player, I would imagine. It's not the easiest combo to hit consistently. But other than that, I think it's quite good. Thank God we on the Wind Dungeon here. Evasion doesn't bother us too much. It is still cumbersome to deal with, don't get me wrong. It's just that, yeah, we kill enemies in one shot usually, so if they don't even get to evade, don't get to proc the evasion ability, what's it gonna do? Just waste the icicles here. They're not essential to our playstyle by any means. Nothing in there anyway. I was just gonna toss the signature. Just gonna spam the icicles, allowing enemies to group up. I'll take a little bit of damage, I don't mind. I meant to shoot those diagonally, but that would have still worked out. Just gotta dash a bunch around those rogues. We shouldn't be in too much danger here. They can't exactly stunlock us. Yes, we do take quite a hefty chunk to our health bar, but we have a revive, a guaranteed revive in here, so we can be quite cocky and not be worried about anything too much here. Just dance around these a little bit. I don't really care about taking damage. I really don't. As long as I don't waste my box escape key. Bada bing, bada boom, my friend. Lance explodes, everyone else explodes. It's quite a simple equation, honestly. It's more of a formula than an equation, but still. You get it, my point stands. Ooh, double trouble. Also volatile gemstone. That's very, very good. Volatile gemstone is almost better than double trouble in my opinion. Double trouble, I believe, also affects the explosion damage, so it's insane with these, but makes us essentially die in 2 or 3 hits, so not the greatest pick by any means, unless you have a very safe to play build. This is not that by any means, because explosive charge, hello, Magma Rush, Flame Strike, these are all meaty, very close range, kind of clunky to use, easy to fuck up ability, same with the Icicle, same with the Thunder Jump. The only easy to use ability here that's also very high reward, low risk, is Raging Inferno, and picking Double Trouble just to have a good Inferno, I'm not sure I want to do that. I much prefer the Volatile Gemstone, as that also massively enhances our damage capabilities. And I don't take double damage while doing so. Quite handy, if I do say so myself. Just go fuck yourself, man. Alright. Come on, let me go. Oh, it's archers. I thought it was knights for a second. Something like that. So I charged my basic. I was about to try and cancel projectile. Don't want to deal with these archers. They are very fast. Don't think I would have been able to cancel a projectile there. Should just destroy it in midair. Oh my god, the chain reactions. Now they also work on these ads. The purple balls, the chaos balls. The balls of chaos. Alarm. Okay, I definitely shouldn't Rebounding Icicles while signaturing, because then I'm gonna knock them out of the majority of my damage. Only 1 skull left. Don't have to do it immediately. Let's look for our shop. Don't really have to try hard looking for extra money here. Oh my. So I massively fucked up there. What I meant to do, and I'm not sure what order I should have done that in, was to just hit the barrels, kill everyone immediately, but I completely screwed that up, which does happen occasionally. Alright, everyone makes mistakes. That was a particularly dumb mistake, but keep in mind, what always counts is the revive. The very back of our inventory. Still at 100%. It will be at 50% after the first revive. It will grant me iframes when reviving me, so there's plenty of room to work around. Now I do kind of like Double Trouble. I'm already very low on HP. So it's kind of risk-free, right? If I take damage, I'm gonna die anyway. I'll take it. Just a little bit of boss killing potential, huh? What could possibly go wrong? Just do that. Be patient. And we're gonna be fine. Still need my green. Still need my veggies. I should absolutely have teleported here. I don't know. I just feel like walking today. That's fine. Whereas, in the beginning of the run, I preached about being lazy. Now, it's all about, well, the opposite. Being fruitful and enjoying one's labor. I don't know. I guess I'll just take the scorecard as that is a full heal. It's a little much for 450, but it's still a full heal regardless. So shut the hell up. I'm playing and you are not. Shush. I would love to buy the Airborne Slam. That's a much better jump over the Thunderclap. But I don't have the Mule to do so. Moving on. Also, with the card as expensive as it may be, I preserve my healing part heal, the large 200 HP heal. Gotta love it. So, there's that. Whoops, definitely bound to take a bunch of damage. Oh my god, let me jump through that shit. Yeah, it's time for a healing part. Right about now. I should probably just try to rush at this point, but rooms are just such fun with this build. I don't really care if I die. Coming to the hole, boy. Keep your distance. I only baited one in. It's okay. Bone mail. I think it's a little late for that. I think if I ever end up taking damage, it's gonna be all of my health bar. So I really would enjoy Kasim's Airy Cloak instead of a little bit of armor that is gonna do next to nothing. The sheer amount of damage I'm gonna be taking per hit. That armor means nothing if every hit hits for 50 damage plus. Generally, with Double Trouble, that item is a bit risque. It's a lot of gold. It's certainly an investment. Is there gonna be another wave? I guess not. It wouldn't take nearly as long. Alright, let's shoot this off diagonally. Cool, that was a lot of damage. Didn't expect dealing that much damage with this ability. Beware the Lancer! Ah. Still probably favorable falling into that hole deliberately, as it deals much less damage to us compared to our enemies. That's a very nice looking elemental chest. And it's quite rare that an elemental chest doesn't even have two of the same elements on it. That's great. Love to see it. Looks gorgeous too. I doubt I've ever seen an elemental chest looking like that. That's kind of the beauty of it. They are just incredibly rare. Especially if you don't end up pull clearing every floor. Oh wow, he got pulled in. Hello, everyone. Come on. Play with me. Be nice. Okay. Incredibly overpriced garbage in there. But I see two new gems, one of which is definitely considerably strong. Binary Splashdown is not it. It deals very poor damage, it is quite slow, has a long wind-up, has a very huge knockback, pushing enemies far, far away from you. Still don't really care about my health bar. Where to next? I think we just move on, to be frank. Knapsack is a little bit of extra healing, so I'll pick that up. Just a smudge of extra healing. Better than none. Oh wow, the explosions are just going off, huh? Alright, Midas Dagger combines nicely with the Glove of Midas. Love that. And then, do we buy a healing pot? I don't think we have to. We still have the knapsack healing, the health orbs for sure, the boxer's cape key, and then sturdy wooden easel to hopefully keep us alive for long enough. Yeah, I'd say move on. Does this count as evasion? I don't think blocking an attack counts as evasion. So I don't think this is gonna gain any value at all. Same for the bone mail, honestly. It's just kind of underwhelming in comparison. I don't think the chest up there is worth it. I don't think we are likely to drop a Wind Arcana in the like 1% of the fall that's missing, so let's just move on. I really don't want to spend like 400 or 360 gold more realistically on a wind ability just to gain back, what, like 100 gold max and potentially a decent item. Nothing wild usually. I already have a fiery paintbrush that is as wild as regular items can get. Just chuck that in there. Use as many abilities as we can here because we have incredibly high damage and we should be able to easily bring this home. Ooh, Inferno Cannon, one of my absolute favorite abilities in the game. This thing is nutty. Love to use it. It's not a jump, it's a very far dash though. So, there's that. Also, very high damage capabilities. But I mostly love it because it makes me feel very stylish. Arguably so. Alright, come into my reach. Bye-bye. Just move into a con and watch them crash and burn. Oh, I love the 4 charges. I wish I had 99 right now. Would be so cool, just dashing around the place with a fiery, cool-looking dash. Okay. So, we can get rid of the knapsack. It's not going to do anything at this point. Chaos Scanner is just a nice extra damage up. Also, it allows for us to see the health bar of our opponents. Formerly Sura, because that's going to be the only opponent with a health bar of more than 1 HP. Jade's Chakra Locket. It's a little bit of armor, but I would much prefer the damage, I think, and then just... I don't think the charges are particularly useful at this point. The Idealist scorecard, surprisingly, actually, I could proc, because I didn't play super recklessly into Sura, like I usually would. I played rather clean into him, so I actually do have a 10, well, realistically, with a double trouble, a 20% damage up. So that's pretty darn good. I'm going to keep it for that reason. Otherwise, I would have absolutely traded that for the Magician's Top Hat. Just a little bit of extra cooldown reduction, just to deal a little bit more damage with my Raging Inferno for the most part here. But Now that that isn't really an option any longer, I don't think I feel like dropping Ring of Reserves. I don't even want to drop the Whimsical, even though it technically doesn't do anything at this point. Let's just move on. Let's heal up and demolish our boy. Our purpley elementish boy. Alright, speed things up. Oh my god. That was just one ability use. I kind of missed the slow version of Sura. I'm just so used to boss rush with no proper telegraphing and shit. I like being aggressive. In case you couldn't tell. Alright, time to die. Didn't even proc the Buck's escape key at any point. Probably wouldn't have happened, let's be honest. With that much damage. Wow, we dealt a whole 2 basic damage. How did we even do that? I have no clue, but holy shit, that was a lot of damage in the end there. Probably due to the fiery. Then also scorecard is like 20% extra damage, as I said, and then the Chaos Scan is another 10% extra damage, as I said. It's just really powerful. Very, very high damage build here. As you would expect from a pure fire, pure signature charge fury build. Yeah, absolutely. You're gonna just demolish everything every time, pretty much. Oof. That was a very feel-good first special run, I gotta say. And the first one I ever finished, all the way. Love it. Sweet. Didn't feel a lot different from a regular one, but let's be fair, I did entirely demolish early floors just by glazing at them the wrong way. They would pop, they would vanish into mere air and smoke and ashes. Yeah, that was great. I wish this were a non-cursed, just regular relic. It's just so damn strong. I'd love to see this. Such a cool item. And then it's just Whimsical on crack, and Whimsical is already fantastic. Does anyone realistically not like this item? Isn't this just fucking awesome in every given run? Even in boss rush, this isn't entirely useless. It's just so cool. I love these. I'm just a sucker for explosions and funny looking things. Alright, thank you very much for watching. And as per usual, you know me. I wish you a good morning, a good day, or a good night, wherever you are. And until next time, bye bye!